2017, German studio Deck 13 released The Surge, a Souls-like game set in a sci-fi universe. Now, 2 years later, The Surge 2 builds upon the ideas of the first game, and although the overall experience never reaches grand heights, its enjoyable combat and exploration offer enough to keep you challenged and engaged.
Are you basic maneuvers? Taking basic maneuvers!
The story takes place after the events of the first game, when the main protagonist Warren failed to stop the launch of the Utopia project, an attempt to stop global warming that could end up causing dangerous side effects for all mankind. The Surge 2 opens in a prison with a nameless customizable character waking from a coma caused by a plane crash 2 months prior. After battling your way out of prison and venturing into the city of Jericho, you quickly learn that disaster has taken place, making the city fraught with danger as you work to unravel everything that happened while you were unconscious. It's a decent story that tries to offer some twists and turns to keep you interested, but it's unlikely that you'll give it a substantial amount of thought. Like the games that inspired it, The Surge 2's world is tightly packed, with multiple paths to explore and shortcuts to unlock. Though the game takes place in a single city, each district feels distinct from the others. Downtown is filled with tall skyscrapers, while Port Nixon has you searching through ruined industrial buildings. Navigating the world can really click when you find alternate routes or unlock shortcuts. However, you can easily get turned around since most of these areas are both large and dense. While playing through the main story, you can find characters throughout the city to offer side quests like planting seeds, finding audio logs, or getting specific armor sets. Most of these quests are decent and give a little insight if you're interested in learning more about the world.
You have murdered 2 of Jericho's most notorious leaders. I would get in touch with my notary if I were you.
The Surge 2's combat is built to be tough and challenging, and it's one of the game's main draws. Even the most basic enemies can be dangerous if you're not careful, and deciding to attack or defend at the right moment can be the difference between life or death. Most enemies are engaging, however, many of the boss encounters feel pretty dull early on. They do get more interesting as you progress, but none leave a lasting impression. The Surge 2 has many of the basic combat elements you'd expect, like light and heavy attacks, blocking, and dodging, but its most defining feature is its lock-on based combat with the ability to sever body parts. While fighting, you're able to target specific areas on an enemy, such as their head, arms, or chest, and repeated attacks can sever a part from their body. Besides serving as a satisfying conclusion to encounters, targeting and severing specific parts also has tactical purposes. Attacking unarmored areas deals more damage, but if you sever a part that's armored, you can get schematics to craft the enemy's gear. You can also upgrade your equipment with materials received from severing. It works well overall, but in some instances, it can feel a bit clunky, especially when fighting multiple foes. Picking which part to attack adds an extra layer of depth to combat, and slicing off a piece of armor for yourself feels satisfying.
Perfect time to join this whole shit show, eh?
There's a large selection of weapons and armor to collect. Aside from base stats, equipping matching armor provides set bonuses. Meanwhile, weapons include spears, hammers, and fist-based items. Some weapons have additional effects tied to them, such as fire or electric damage. You also have a drone you can use to attack enemies from afar, which can be a lifesaver in certain situations. Character progression while leveling is fairly straightforward with only 3 stats to choose from: health, stamina, and power. Leveling up also increases your power core capacity, which acts as your equipment load. For instance, a piece of armor may take up 2 out of 11 power core slots, or an implant may require 3 slots. Implants are small microchips that provide passive effects like finishing moves that restore health or accelerated stamina regeneration when your health is low. It's a simple yet solid system that allows for a little more customization. Healing is also tied to implants and requires an energy bar to use. The most common way to build up energy is by attacking, which can feel exhilarating when you manage to fight your way out of a tough situation. If you're having trouble trying to deal damage, you can also parry attacks to gain energy, but this can come at a greater risk since a missed parry could mean death. Your energy also depletes automatically over time, so you're encouraged to heal often. Drained energy can be saved as a charge, which almost acts as a healing item that can be used at any time. However, the amount of charges you can hold starts very low, so you'll want to upgrade your healing implants as soon as you can. While The Surge 2 builds on many familiar concepts, it also adds its own little twists to them. At medbays, you can bank tech scrap, which is used for upgrading and building weapons and armor. This will keep your scrap safe for later, since dying will cause you to drop all the scrap you're currently holding. You're able to retrieve the scrap if you make it back to where you died. However, there's a time limit, and if you don't pick it up before the timer runs out, your scrap will be lost. It's not a game changer by any means, but it's a nice addition that adds a slight sense of urgency.
Together, we can take back our city once and for all. With our combined forces, we will defeat the Nanite Scourge and reclaim what's ours.
The Surge 2 is a good follow-up to its predecessor. The level design and lock-on-based combat are really enjoyable, but boss encounters and the story's presentation feel a bit lacking. It won't blow you away by any means, but it does well for what it is. If you're a fan of the first game or simply want to see this type of game in a more futuristic setting, The Surge 2 is a fine choice. Easy Allies reviews are made possible by generous viewers just like you. If you like what you see, check out patreon.com/easyallies to help us make more. For just $1 a month, you can gain access to weekly updates, spoiler discussions, and exclusive shows.